Greetings. I'm Tanya Abreu, the Chief Executive Officer of Power Up Nursing. As many of you know, we are a platform of private nurses, individual nurses, as well as hospitals and other organizations that are dedicated to advancing the science and the spirit of nursing. When I start one of these podcasts, I'm always so incredibly excited to learn from them. They never are work for me. They are truly moments of transformation, of movement from one place that I think I know to a better place that has better information. And today I want to have like really great music playing behind me because this is a third time guest on Power Up Nursing, and her name is Jenn Payeur. And she has been with Power Up Nursing as a champion, as a company, as an amazing expert in health since we started almost 3 years ago. Jenn is the founder and the CEO of a company called Nature Provides, and that is nature-provides.com. And she has a story that anytime I think my world is looking bleak, I think about what she has transcended and the photos that I've studied of her from the time of her cancer and her worn outness in the world to the vibrant, mature, amazing human being that she is today. And today I've asked her to share some of that secret with me and with all of you who are listening and give us a discussion called the top 5 secrets to reclaiming your health. Because I can't tell you how many women I've talked to at conferences over the past 3 weeks that say they feel like they've lost their health. Maybe not completely physically, but their lives don't feel as healthy as they used to. So I'm going to bring Jenn on without any further ado to share with us those 5 secrets that she keeps to her heart and in trainings to help us all reclaim our health, whether you're a nurse or whether you're just a human being seeking enthusiasm and encouragement. There she is,
Hi,
Jenn. And
everyone.
I'm going to take myself off the screen for a moment
Okay.
because I want to fill the world up with your smile and your face and your attitude. And please give us a message as we start this podcast to people who are feeling tired of winter, tired of politics they don't understand, no matter what side of the parties they're on, tired of the economy, tired of the price of eggs, tired of healthcare costs. Give us a message and then we'll get back to the question.
Well, I think the most important message is that perfect health is our birthright. These bodies are designed to be in coherence with every aspect of who we are. So that's our emotional body, our mental body, so our thoughts, our spiritual bodies, our energetic bodies, and our physical bodies. So that is our birthright. It's who we are innately. And that's why I love this topic about reclaiming our health because it is ours to reclaim. And, we're coming out of this winter drull, whatever you want to call it. I know here in North Carolina, we've had a colder winter than normal. And, we're coming into the vibrancy of life. So, one of my very first recommendations is get outside. Just going outside and spending 10 minutes in the sun in the morning will actually set your circadian rhythm for the entire day. For here in North Carolina, we have this beautiful sunny day, but even if you live in a climate that isn't sunny all the time, you can still go outside in nature and get the benefit and the gift of the sun, even with the clouds. The same way that you can get sunburned when you're outside with clouds, right? So we're still getting the benefit of the sun. And that is so, so important to
Mhm.
be in nature. And I love the fact that you can look in nature, and nature is never in a rush, right? Like we are. And it's simply a reflection of who we are.
Mhm.
And so that's why I love, love, love being out in nature. I love acknowledging that health is our birthright. and that it is our right to claim it and own it and be it.
Well, it sounds very lovely the way you describe it, but there's also so much science behind it. The science of grounding, taking your shoes off, standing on earth that is mineral based or sand, and actually being able to measure with MRI type technology the rush of energy, the blood flow that it just increases. But
Yes.
sitting at a desk versus standing outside in nature, some of the research that I've been reading recently puts the forest of like a heavily wooded area as the healthiest on the planet for all different kinds of reasons. But it's science. It's not just a feel good, go outside, look around. It's, wow, this is actual science.
Well, and in the 80s, in the 1980s in Japan, they actually coined the term forest bathing. And that didn't mean going for a run in the forest. That meant actually walking in the forest and breathing in, right, with the what all of the plants and trees are expelling, right? We need each other. We are in a symbiotic relationship. And they were actually writing prescriptions for people in the 1980s. And they saw things like, blood pressure drop. They saw heart disease drop. They saw all of these health benefits by prescribing going to the forest and bathing in all of the goodness of what's available to us in the forest. So you're absolutely right. A
Mhm.
lot of science. It's, I was trying to think of the name. It's I have to look it up now. There's actually a Japanese name.
I've seen that. I've seen the top 5 things that the Japanese have as concepts for health. No, that is exciting. And so it's such a simple thing to be able to walk outside. One of my, you started talking about the metaphor and how nature teaches us. One of my favorite things when I had cancer, and I know we're cancer sisters, but
Yes.
when I had late stage cancer, I couldn't even take care of my turtle. I couldn't take care of myself. I couldn't take care of anything. And I went very slowly out into my little back area, and there had been these big overgrown bushes that I couldn't cut down, the landscapers had been ignoring, and I didn't have even enough energy to complain about people I was paying money to. And I look at these bushes, and all of a sudden, they were a riotous collection of yellow and ruby red hibiscus flowers.
Mhm.
And I just, it's an emotional, visceral moment for me, but I just broke down because here I was saying, these bushes, I don't care for, I don't water them. They look like crazy weeds. Nobody even is even, scaling them back. They're horrible. They've got spider webs in them. And all of a sudden, without any effort and with real neglect on my behalf, they burst into a symphony of life. And
Mhm.
nature is like that. And so, if in that moment where I wanted to reclaim my desire to stay on this planet, that bush has
That would do it.
ever been my symbol of cancer survivorship. Cool. Well, let's move ahead. Thank you for that inspiration. Let's move ahead to number 2. We had talked about this, and I love this. Let's talk about getting things off of our to-do list that don't belong there. Go ahead, my
Yeah,
dear.
and I put in the chat, it's called Shinrin Yoku is the name of the forest bathing in Japan,
Okay,
just for your reference.
Shinrin-yoku.
Shinrin Yoku.
Let
I
me
was
look.
confusing it a little bit with Shoku Rei, which is a Reiki technique. So, um,
Ah.
yeah. So number two.
Well, wait a second. I got to get this up on our banners, and I'm going to have to spell it because sometimes people spell it again for me. It disappeared
It's
when
SHINRIN
Mhm.
YOKU. Second word.
Yoku, and that is Shinrin Yoku.
Yoku.
And I'm going to put that up for everybody. It's worth looking at and really, experiencing, and to be intentional and to walk out into nature, thinking that you're bathing in health is pretty cool deal. All right, let's go back to those to-do lists and the number 2 secret.
Number two, joy, joy,
Yeah.
joy, joy. So, during my recovery journey, I recall sitting there looking at my to-do list, and I said, I've measured my worth based on my to-do list my whole life. What did I achieve? What did I accomplish? What did I get done today? All my to-do lists. And I said, I wonder what would happen if I took my focus off of that and I shifted to how much joy did I have today? And I will tell you, I was like, oh my gosh, even the things that I love to do because of that do lost their joy and their spark. And so when we are light beings, we have this life force pulsing through us. And yet, we get heads down and we get on the lists and we lose how important having that joy is. So I make sure every day to do at least 2 to 3 things every single day that bring me joy. And it's a game changer for reclaiming your health. It's a game changer because now you are raising your vibration, your frequency. You are then contagious to other people. And so that song Joy to the World, you actually are bringing that to life in your own life with your family, with your pets, and then other people feel it. So it's a way of paying it forward to bring more joy into our lives when we've got all these headlines, like you said, of the eggs and the conflicts and the politics and all the things.
Mhm.
If you can put that aside and really just focus on what brings you joy. So I've gone back to cooking. I love to cook. I love to cook from scratch. I was just at a retreat, was reignited on the whole Ayurvedic front. So I'm putting cinnamon and cardamom in my coffee now, and it brings me joy and it makes me happy. And so then
And I want people who are listening not to confuse joy with happiness. We have this sense of, are you happy? And happy seems like it's this condition, right? You get up in the morning, I'm so happy. All my bills are paid. My kids are great. I'm just happy. That's not joy. Some
no,
of the deepest joy that I ever had is when life is really bleak or my health is really bleak, and you find joy in a cat purring next to you, and it just is overwhelmingly positive, right? So,
that's a
how
heart opener. It opens your heart. Yeah.
that's a beautiful way. I'm going to put that definition up for our viewers and listeners. Joy equals what the moment that I like that opens your heart. See, I meant that, Jen. I always learn when I'm on with people like you. It's really special. And I'm sure that people who are listening and watching go about your day and find moments that make your heart sing. I mean, I got to tell you, there's been some tough times, and I have found this Japanese AI. I hate AI because I never know what's right and what's wrong. But I do know the cats that are on bicycles going to the market buying fish and then going home and frying little fish balls and then eating them with chopsticks is AI, but it is so much a moment of joy for me. And I watch them whenever I'm ready to like yell at somebody on the phone or be frustrated with the way things are going. I watch a cat and a baby in a swimming pool passing gas and laughing hysterically. This AI master has joy definitely under his belt, so to speak. All right. Well, that was great. And for just a moment, I'm going to put your website up because Jen is, after all, a CEO and a consummate entrepreneur and business person. Her company, which I buy from, has the best. Don't believe all the MLM stuff you hear out there. I love, multi-level marketing is fine. I'm involved in it. But sometimes they let quality go a little bit, or they can't provide the very best, for instance, in aromatherapy oils that are just absolutely proven and pure and organic. And Jen has a company, nature-provides.com, that you can get amazing aromatherapy oils as well as therapeutic medicinal plants that go under a scientific discipline called gemotherapy. We're not going to get into that right now, but go play on this website, have some joy there because it's like, aha, that could help. So please visit that site while we go to, and I'm very grateful to that site for much knowledge that I've gotten. We go to our number 3 secret to reclaim
Yes.
health. Mhm.
Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Gratitude is, again, we are energetic beings. This is now science. People like Dr. Joe Dispenza, David Hawkins, a lot of people have really been able to measure this. And when we're in a state of gratitude, we actually become attractors, not pursuers. So think about that for a minute. Okay. Because we are raising our frequency again. And so gratitude is another heart opener. It's along that same vibration as joy. And gratitude opens everything up. It opens our world up. It takes us from this myopic space to this open space that connects us to everyone, right? Because we are all connected. And so gratitude opens our hearts and really allows us to draw in what we are wanting to manifest in our lives. And
Yeah,
one of my favorite, I'm just going to tell you a very quick story. One of my favorite stories is of Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's, if you haven't heard of him, he's written several books. One of them is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. It's one of my favorite books I read many years ago. And he was in an event where he was on his bike. He got hit by an 18-wheeler and he got thrown from his bike. He broke 7 vertebrae in his back. He was told he would never walk again. And he said, I think I can meditate and fix my back. And so for 3 months, while he's in traction on his stomach, he's meditating and he's imagining himself being healed and whole, healed and whole. And when that 3-month period was up, he got up, tried to walk, and he collapsed. And he said, crap, I thought I had it. And so he went back and he said, wow, look at how grateful I am that I have a wife who comes in and takes care of me every day. Look at how grateful I am to have these beautiful children who are here making me laugh every day. And he switched his focus into gratitude. And yes, he was still meditating, but he went from 3 hours a day down to about an hour a day. And 3 months later, he got out of traction, stood up and walked and never looked back. So
that
that gratitude is what healed his body.
yeah, and it's also, again, scientifically proven that the feeling of gratitude creates neurotransmitters that boost the immune system. So when you wake up with a cold, instead of saying, shoot, I don't want to go to work, my head hurts, say, oh my God, I still have a job, and there are so many people who are starving and so many people who don't know how to feed and clothe their children. Gratitude just rushes you with
Endorphins, yes.
neurotransmitters that all improve the way your body T cells function, right? So we have in gratitude truly an improved immune system. So man, we just don't want to mess with that. Um, oh my goodness, that's great.
And we need a strong immune system to reclaim our health.
Here we go. Here
Number one.
are secrets, right?
Yes.
Number 4, I love what you talk about because so many of us are in the gym 3-4 times a week, and we still have our bellies and we still have our wobbly thighs, and we're still feeling guilty that we're not going twice a day like those bodybuilders are doing. And it's funny, I started wearing this Ultra Human ring, Jen, about, and I was going to the gym and, I lost quite a bit of weight. But, it was basically through intermittent fasting and not eating as much. But the gym felt like it was all good. And it is. When I go to the gym, it's like a new place for my head. But what the ring was showing me is going to the gym even 4 times a week was not reducing my cardiovascular age. It was not making me more oxygenated. It was not making me sleep better. It was not helping my blood pressure. It was not helping my overall longevity. Going to the gym or going like, a quick 20-minute bike ride back and I did it. I don't have to do anything else today was just a fallacy. And now I set an alarm for a minimum of every 90 minutes to do a 10 to 15 minute something. Could be a chair exercise, it could be yoga. It could be walking. It could be like weird Tai Chi movements. It could be dancing around the house, acting silly, but it doesn't matter. I need to do it every 90 minutes. And my cardiovascular age in 3 months after learning this went down 3 years. 3 years of how the heart is performing. So now I'm going to kick it over to you because I love this. Number 4 is movement.
Yeah, movement as medicine. And, we are now learning so much about the fascia and the lymphatic system, that the fascia in our body is this, this web of neurons, and it's alive and it's full of light. And when we sit all day, we are stagnating our bodies. And so I love that you shared that you mix it up, because I think that's another important thing. But like you, I ended up buying a stand-up desk so that I can be up and down. I have a treadmill under my desk,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes it's just moving my hips, it's shaking my body out, right?
Go for it. Walk, dog
It's
walk in nature.
going for a walk, being outside. But
Mm-hmm.
our bodies are not meant to be still, and everything starts to close in. I have a dear friend who runs a company called Fluid Isometrics.
Hmm.
And she discovered this. She's gone really deep into the fascia world. And she has this saying that death starts in the toes. And what she means by that is that the fascia in our toes, by not moving, actually starts to binge up. And then our posture starts to go this way, and we start putting all of our weight on the front of our toes. So when we move, it doesn't allow that fascia to tighten up in our bodies.
Wow.
And so we have more lymphatic. And
Mm-hmm.
again, that's life force energy, right? Moving through our body. So
Mm-hmm.
move, move, move. And it doesn't have to be extravagant. Like to your point, Tanya, you don't have to go to the gym 4 days a week, but have about set your alarm, get up, stand up, walk, get movement, get flow. It's all about flow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find it's easy to set the alarm, and it's also easy to ignore it. So if actually the ring holds me accountable, and this is again the ultra human ring that I just and Power Up Nursing is partnered with, that really does help us measure what we've never measured before. That it's truly not about, it's about moving all the time, and that's a great secret. Now, I want to come down to secret number 5 because this is such a momentous moment for you. Secret number 5 is my dear friend and supporter, and I just want to start calling you Guru Jen, but is truly the release, the publishing of a book called Ancient Plant Wisdom. And can you hold it up, Jen?
Sure. Yes, this is it.
Oh, so beautiful. It's just wonderful. It is available on Amazon. It's at Target. Like you can go into a retail store and look for it. So Ancient Plant Wisdom, I'll put it up in a minute, is secret number 5. And it's ancient plant wisdom and real food. So take it away.
Yeah, I mean, plants have been here long before humans. And so I look to plants as our elders. And one of the amazing things about plants is that we have a symbiotic relationship with them, and they are adaptogenic. And, we are hit with viruses, bacteria, fungi, all that stuff. Well, plants can go toe to toe with all of those pathogens to keep us healthy. And most of us don't get the 11 servings of vegetables every day, right? Probably not even close. And so plants are here to nourish us, to guide us. Yes, they actually have life force. And there is a triple board certified doctor named Dr. Zach Bush. He's one of my all-time favorite. I learn from him so much each time. But he was on a podcast and he said, did you know your plants know you're coming home when you've hit 2 kilometers away from your house, just like your animals do? They sense you're coming back home if you've been gone for the day. So they're very connected to us, just like our animals. They're good for us, for our bodies. They're good for us for every aspect of us, our emotions. There are plants that actually help our emotional bodies. They help our
Now
beliefs.
I'm starting to feel real guilt about all those dead and dying plants. I'm like, oh my God.
They know they have that intelligence just like we do. And so, our intelligences are working together, and they're real food. They, they pull up all the soil. So right now, I think on our planet, we're trying to regenerate the soil. You hear a lot about regenerative farmers.
Mhm.
That's because the plants are utilizing that, and then we eat the plants. And so, plants are one of my love affairs. I love them. I think they're magical, and they can help us reclaim our health on so many levels: body, mind, and spirit.
And we talk a lot about food. We know that we can take. I take one of the things I think I've talked to you about it is just simple grape seed out of the Carolinas. It's a muscadine grape, and
Mhm.
it's like 800% more effective than any of the things that are out there touting antioxidant superfood benefits. Um, and I noticed that when I don't take it for 2, 3 days because I've forgotten my containers of it, I can actually feel myself. I don't want to say deflating, but a little wilty. Like my body feels a little wilty because it's that grape seed, that powdered plant that fuels my body itself. I remember also I had really good oncologists, both out of like Johns Hopkins and Moffitt and Cleveland Clinic. I mean, I was fortunate because I was in the healthcare industry. And I had an oncologist tell me, did you know that human blood and chlorophyll from a plant is only a molecule away from each other?
Yes. Yes.
So he suggested, and really I was very, very sick. He suggested wheatgrass energy,
Mhm.
like to actually drink as much liquid plant chlorophyll that I could. And besides getting my digestive system cooking, um, that plant did wonders. It slowed down,
Mhm.
it made my hair grow, it made my skin look good. It really felt like I was unwilting as a plant.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you know about that, but I always ask people to go ahead and Google the
Yes.
difference between chlorophyll and human blood. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a center in Florida, Hippocrates, and they use a lot of wheatgrass for healing.
Mhm,
So wheatgrass is up there with one of the top plants for healing.
mhm. What do you eat?
What do I eat? I eat a
I
lot of
don't
fruits.
remember you being very ascetic. We've gone places together. You eat joyfully. You
Yes.
don't tell the waiter you need just 5 or 6 seeds and some.
No, no. I mean, I do try to avoid seed oils, and fried food.
Mhm,
But I do believe that joy and eating with for pleasure is really important, and mindful eating is another
mhm.
piece. I err on the side of organic, but we do go out to eat, a couple of days a week, and at that point, I'm eating whatever we're choosing to eat that night. So
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, there are times that I used to think that an Oreo brought me a moment of joy, but now when I eat them, I get dizzy because I really strived. Yes, I've really strived to eat whole foods, real
yes,
foods, right? If the thing has more, what my endocrinologist taught me is if it has more than 5 ingredients, pass because it's just going to get stuck somewhere in your body in a lumpy way that you don't want. I loved she was a nutritionist and an endocrinologist. And so for me, it's like, okay, I can have a wonderful chicken with this great homemade salsa on top, mashed potatoes, because you know what? Butter is a natural thing, and so is a little bit of milk, and so is a little bit of salt, and then asparagus. I'm just talking about my dinner last night. But
yes.
it's joyful food. And it's I can't do like a chicken nugget, God forbid, and but who
Well,
wants to.
real food has a vibration, right? You can feel the life force in the food. And I'm laughing because this is a post-it note that I have up on my desk. And it has on the left God made, food in the middle, and man made, and nature. So, yes, eating whole foods or foods that God made, foods in nature, are really what are designed for us, for our health. And
Yeah.
all of the processed foods that have been addictive in our lives, really are not great for us. So
Mhm.
that's what I minimize. Hey, occasionally, if it's a kid's birthday party, I'm going to have a piece of cake. It's
Mhm.
all good. So it's the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, eat whole food, real food, and, and eat with joy and pleasure.
Yeah.
We look at these other cultures, like in France, they're eating the butters and the heavy creams, and they're eating, drinking wine, and they're some of the healthiest people because they spend 2 hours eating. And
And
it's,
they don't say, "I shouldn't be eating this." That's
no, and they don't have that mindset, right? Of, oh, this is bad for me.
Mhm.
They
I
eat with
watched my
joy.
13-year-old grandson who, teeters and totters with a little bit of a weight issue at this point in his life, and, he's like, "I know I shouldn't have ice cream." So I see him take a spoon, and then I see him go back and take 3 spoons in rapid succession, and it's not because he wants it, it's because human brain is such, when you say, "No, no, no," there's something about being human that says, "Yes, you can," and so it's much better to say, "You know what? I'm gonna slather that butter on my bread until I can't even eat it because I'm allowed to," and that's a very different way of eating, and it's
It is.
done with intention to please yourself, without that guilt. One of the things that I used to say and still say when I'm doing consumer speaking is healthy should always feel good, never guilty. Because
Yes.
once guilt enters, all those negative hormones flow, and you start really craving potato chips and French onion dip instead of craving a nice walk, laugh, dance, and a brownie, right? The end of it all. So, yeah, I like it. I like it. So, I wanted to put up again the name of your book. Um, and if you go to natureprovides.com, you can read all kinds of stuff about Jenn and find ways to buy her products. If you're a healthcare educator, which most of our people are that are on Power Up Nursing, nurses, healthcare educators, you can, for free, register as a provider for a discount and a whole slew of materials. So you just go on there and look for the clinician registration. What's it called?
It says registration. It's a big blue box that says register as a practitioner. Practitioner.
Register as a practitioner. And
Yeah.
you won't be sorry because you will have the science in your hands, not only to reclaim your own health and to help the people around you who are feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, but it's a tool for your patients and it's a tool for your family. And so, wow, Jenn, I'm going to let you close us out because I'm going to get off the screen because I find you very motivational. Um, I'm a fan. Have you figured that out, Jenn?
That will.
Yeah, and Jenn Payeur was a speaker, keynote speaker at our conference at Norton Hospital in Louisville, Kentucky, and she was one of the highest rated. And people wanted to know why you didn't have an exhibit table because they wanted to play with the products. They
Mm.
wanted So next time we're
Yeah.
going to get one of my team to play with your products, and so they can experiment. But I'm going to get off the screen and let Jennifer walk us out. Please don't forget to go onto Amazon and look at Ancient Plant Wisdom. It's reasonably priced. It is a beautiful coffee table book as well as a reference book. So, congratulations. Oh, and do tell us very briefly before I go out about your upcoming documentary.
Yeah, so I have a documentary that is launching on the 21st. It'll launch first on our website. There's a whole process of how this goes, but we've got to launch it first before we can apply for any film awards, and then put it anywhere else. So that's the strategy, and it's really a lot about my holistic healing journey
Mhm.
and a little bit about the plants themselves and the gemotherapy and how they were a part of my healing journey. But it's really a message about hope and healing. And so many are going through chronic illnesses right now. So it's really about how to come back and reclaim your health.
Okay, now that was almost your end, but I'm going to give you 30 seconds here or a minute. Thank you from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of all of our nurses and the Power Up Nursing Hospital Network. We love Nature Provides and Jenn Payeur.
Thank you. Love you too. So I just want to close with reminding you that your body is designed to be healthy and whole. It's who you are at the core. It's your innate wisdom in your body. And I encourage you to do things each day to feed that, to trust that, to know that. Sometimes it means, like, I just got this necklace in Mexico. It's a hummingbird. My mother recently passed away, and this necklace pulled me in. And every day I just put my hands over my heart and I say a prayer of gratitude for my sweet mother who passed late last year. It has the birthstone of my daughter. I'm grateful for her and what she's launching in her life as a young adult. So just know that gratitude and joy and bliss, those are who we are. And it's not a lot of hard work to reclaim your health. It's just intentionality. So the more intentional you can be, the more health and wellness you will reclaim and have inside of you.